You are listening to a 31 Pearls production audiobook. All rights are reserved. No part of this video or audio may be reproduced. The Sibylline Oracles, Book 4. People of boastful Asia and of Europe. Hear how much all too true I am about, through a month many-toned, from my great hall, to prophesy. No oracle am I of lying Phoebus, whom vain men called God, and further falsified by calling seer. But of the mighty God, whom hands of men formed, not like speechless idols carved of stone. For he has not for his abode a stone most dumb, and toothless to a temple drawn of immortals, a dishonor very sore. For he may not be seen from earth, nor measured by mortal eyes, nor formed by mortal hand. He, looking down at once on all, is seen himself by no one. His are murky night and day, and sun and stars, and moon, and seas with fish, and land, and rivers, and the month of springs perennial, creatures meant for life, and rains at once, producing fruit of field, and tree, and vine and oil. This God, a whip struck through my heart within, to make me tell truly to men, what things have now befallen, and how much shall befall them yet again, from the first generation to the 11th. For he himself by bringing them to pass will prove all things. But do thou in all things, O people, to the Sibyl give all ear, who pours from hallowed mouth a truthful voice. Blessed of men shall they be on the earth, as many as shall love the mighty God, offering him praise before they drink and eat, trusting in piety, when they behold temples and altars, figures of dumb stones, polluted with the blood of living things, and sacrifices of four-footed beasts, they will reject them all. And they will look to the great glory of one God, and not commit presumptuous murder, nor dispose of stolen gain, which things most horrid are. Nor shameful longing for another's bed have they, nor vile and hateful lust of males. Their manner, piety, and character shall other men, that love a shameless life, not ever imitate. But, mocking them with jest and joke, like babes in senselessness, they'll falsely charge to them as many deeds, blameful and wicked, as they do themselves. For slow is the whole race of humankind to believe. But when judgment of the world, and mortals, comes, which God himself shall bring, judging at once the impious and the pious, then indeed shall he send the ungodly back to lower darkness. And then they shall know how much impiety they wrought. But the pious shall still remain upon the fruitful land, God giving to them breath and life and grace. But these things all in the 10th generation shall come to pass. And now what things shall be, from the first generation, those I'll tell. First over all mortal shall Assyrians rule, and for 6 generations hold the power of the world. From the time the God of heaven, being wroth against the cities, and all men, see with a bursting deluge, covered earth. Them shall the Medes o'erpower, but on the throne for 2 generations only shall exult. In which times those events shall come to pass. Dark night shall come at the mid-hour of day. And from the heaven, the stars and circling moon shall disappear. And earth in tumult, shaken by a great earthquake, shall throw many cities and works of men headlong. And from the deep, they shall peer out the islands of the sea. But when the great Euphrates shall with blood be surging, then shall there be also set between the Medes and Persians, dreadful strife in battle. And the Medes shall fall and fly 'neath Persian spears, beyond the mighty water of Tigris. And the Persian power shall be greatest in all the world. And they shall have 1 generation of most prosperous rule. And there shall be as many evil deeds, as men shall wish away the din of war, and murders, and disputes, and banishments, and overthrow of towers, and waste of cities. When Hellas very glorious shall sail over broad Hellespont, and shall convey to Phrygia sorrow and to Asia doom. And unto Egypt, land of many furrows, shall sorry famine come, and barrenness shall during 20 circling years prevail. What time the Nile, corn nourisher, shall hide his dark wave, somewhere underneath the earth. And there shall come from Asia a great king bearing a spear, with ships innumerable. And he shall walk the wet paths of the deep. And shall sail, after he has cut the mount of lofty summit. Him a fugitive from battle, fearful Asia, shall receive. And Sicily the wretched, shall a stream of powerful fire set all aflame, while Ætna her flame disgorges. And in the deep chasm, down shall the mighty city Croton fall. And strife shall be in Hellas. They shall rage against each other, cast down many cities. And fighting make an end of many men. But equally balanced is the strife with both. But, when the race of mortal men shall come to the 10th generation, also then upon the Persians shall a servile yoke and terror be. But when the Macedonians shall boast the scepter, there shall be for Thebes an evil conquest from behind. And Carians shall dwell in Tyre, and Tyrians be destroyed. And Babylon, great to see but small to fight, shall stand with walls that were in vain hopes built. In Bactria, Macedonians shall dwell. But those from Susa, and from Bactria, shall all into the land of Hellas flee. It shall take place among those yet to be, when silver-eddying Pyramus, his banks o'erpouring, to the sacred isle shall come. And Cybra shall fall in Cyzicus, when, earth being shaken by earthquakes, cities fall. And sand shall hide all Samos under banks. And Delos, visible no more. But things of Delos shall all be invisible. And to Rhodes shall come evil last, but greatest. The Macedonian power shall not abide. But from the west a great Italian war shall flourish, under which the world shall bear a servile yoke and the Italians serve. And thou, O wretched Corinth, thou shalt look sometime upon thy conquest. And thy tower, O Carthage, shall press lowly on the ground. Wretched Laodicea, thee, sometime shall earthquake lay low, casting headlong down. But thou, a city firmly set, again shalt stand. O Lycia, Myra, beautiful! Thee never shall, the agitated earth, set fast. But falling headlong down on earth shalt thou, in manner like an alien, pray to flee away into another land. When sometime, the dark water of the sea, with thunders and earthquakes, shall stop the din of Patara, for its impieties. Also for the Armenia, there remains a slavish fate. And there shall also come to Salama, an evil blast of war from Italy, and God's great temple spoil. But when these, trusting folly, shall cast off their piety and murders consummate around the temple, then from Italy a mighty king shall, like a runaway slave, flee over the Euphrates stream unseen, unknown. Who shall sometime dare loathsome guilt of matricide, and many other things, having confidence in his most wicked hands. And many for the throne with blood, Rome's soil, while he flees over Parthian land. And out of Syria shall come Rome's foremost man, who having burned the temple of Salama, and having slaughtered many of the Jews, shall destruction on their great broad land. And then too, shall an earthquake overthrow both Salamis and Paphos, when dark waters shall dash o'er Cyprus, washed by many a wave. But when from deep cleft of Italian land, fire shall come flashing forth in the broad heaven, and many cities burn, and men destroy, and much black ashes shall fill the great sky, and small drops, like red earth, shall fall from heaven. Then know the anger of the God of heaven, for that they, without reason, shall destroy the nation of the pious. And then strife, awakened of war, shall come to the west. Shall also come the fugitive of Rome, bearing a great spear, having marched across Euphrates, with his many myriads. O wretched Antioch! They shall call thee no more a city when around their spears, because of thine own follies, thou shalt fall. And then on, Syros, shall a pestilence and dreadful, battle din, destruction bring. Alas, alas! O wretched Cyprus! Thee shall a broad wave of the sea cover. thee tossed on high by the whirling stormy winds. And into Asia there shall come great wealth, which Rome herself once, plundering, put away in her luxurious homes. And twice as much, and more, shall she to Asia render back. And then, there shall be an excess of war. And Carian cities by meanders waters, girded with towers and very beautiful, shall by a bitter famine be destroyed, when the meander his dark water hides. But when piety shall perish from mankind, and faith and right be hidden in the world, fickle, and in unhallowed boldness, living shall practice wanton violence, and reckless evil deeds. And of the pious, no one shall make account. But even them all from thoughtlessness, they utterly destroy in childish folly, in their violence exulting, and in blood holding their bands. Then know thou that God is no longer mild, but gnashing with fury, and destroying all the race of men, by conflagration, great. Ah, miserable mortals! Change these things, nor lead the mighty God to wrath extreme. Put on, giving up your swords, and pointed knives, and homicides and wanton violence. Wash your whole body in perennial streams. And lifting up your hands to heaven, seek pardon for former deeds. And expiate with praise, bitter impiety. And God will give repentance. He will not destroy. And wrath will he again restrain, if in your hearts ye all will practice honored piety. But if, ill-disposed, ye obey me not, but with a fondness, for strange lack of sense, receive all these things with an evil ear, there shall be over all the world a fire, and greatest omen, with sword and with trump, at sunrise. The whole world shall hear the roar, and mighty sound. And he shall burn all earth, and destroy the whole race of men, and all the cities and the rivers and the sea. All things he'll burn, and it shall be black dust. But when now, all things shall have been reduced to dust and ashes, and God shall have calmed the fire unspeakable which he lit up, the bones and ashes of men, God himself again will fashion. And he will again raise mortals up, even as they were before. And then shall be the judgment, at which God himself as judge shall judge the world again. And all who sinned with impious hearts, even them, shall he again hide under mounds of earth. Dark Tartarus, and Stygian, Gehenna. But all who shall be pious, shall again live on the earth, and shall inherit there the great, immortal God's, unwasting bliss. God giving spirit life and joy to them, the pious. And they all shall see themselves, beholding the sun's sweet and cheering light. Oh, happy on the earth shall be that man